Hello, this is an experiment. This is the first one of these I've ever done. And you'll notice the video is a little slow. It's because I'm using a rather primitive system at the moment. We're going to be improving that as time goes on. But this is to basically introduce some of the stuff that I use, some of the things you see on the website, and a few other concepts. Like I say, it's a sort of a primitive experiment. I'm using actually a webcam, with an old webcam with a USB 1 connection, and that's why there's a certain level of jerkiness to the video. In the future we'll be having better equipment, but this is to get things started. My nose itches. In fact, you'll find that I tend to scratch quite often during these things. I'm not really used to this. Keeping my eyes on the camera rather than on the video, rather than on the monitor, is something unusual for me. But as you can see, the picture is not turning too strange a color, and the camera has not exploded from looking at me, which is something different. It must have a very strong lens. So let's get started. How did I get started in psionics? Well, I fell on my head. No, that's not true. That's Peter Hurkos, how he became a psychic many years ago. No, in my case, I was actually doing psionics before I knew it was psionics. I was heavily into magic, but I was also into sort of a free-form approach to things. Very much make things up as you go along. Try stuff that people didn't normally think about. For example, when using a magic wand, there were always the instructions: visualize a blue light coming out of the wand, or visualize a light coming out of the wand. Only one little problem. I couldn't visualize a light coming out of the wand for squat. So I solved the problem. I used a flashlight. Okay, stop laughing. Oh, keep laughing. What the hell, it's funny. And that solved the problem of visualization, because I no longer had to visualize a light coming out, because a light was coming out. It was there. And if I wanted a different colored light, I just taped a little gel over the front of the flashlight. And surprise! Let me reach over here. My first flashlight magic wand. I have had this flashlight for almost 40 years. And as you can see, it still works. I've had to change the bulb a couple times, and of course the batteries need replenishing. But it is my old, reliable flashlight wand. In fact, I don't know if it will show up on here. And I don't think it will. The light reflects on it. But on this little plate here, I actually have the traditional Hebrew letters that one would carve on a magic wand engraved. Some name of God or other. There's so many of them. And put that back. I just knocked over the felt tip pen. But that's how that was actually, we now know, of course, that is psionic. The energy comes out of your hand, picked up by the light beam, shoots at the target. I didn't know that. But that's what's going on. I modified that later on with something else, which I will now get. Bear with me. This, for those of you who are science fiction aficionados, is a Star Trek toy phaser from 1975. Has the flashlight coming out. As you can hear, makes a little chirping noise. Had it for 30 years. I bought it as a birthday present for myself. I collect toy ray guns. Always have. Love toy ray guns. And I got this actually for my 26th birthday. Or was it 74 I got it? Anyway, or 25th birthday. Anyway, it was around there somewhere. I immediately realized that this could be used for attack magic. You have the gun form. What does a gun mean in our culture? Oops, I'm getting the backlight showing there. A gun means aggression. Guns are weapons. This is a real ray gun. It shoots a real ray. Now, admittedly, under normal circumstances, the ray is quite harmless. It's a beam of light. But what does a beam of light do in a psionic context? It's a carrier wave. I hadn't even thought of using psionics when I did that. Just something that came naturally. Create a ritual where I would attack a target and fire this. At the target. Oh, Lord, I gotta do something about that backlight. Forgive me. Like I say, I am new at this. And thus it began. The use of the pendulum. I got my first pendulum when I was 17. Let's see where I can find a pendulum here. There. That better? This is not my first pendulum. My first pendulum is in a desk drawer, but I'm not going to dig that out now. It was a plastic pendulum that came as a part of a sort of game set. A Kreskin ESP game.